It should come as no surprise that Animal Crossing New Horizons is the top-rated Switch game of 2020. It's number one. The reviews are phenomenal. Remember when we went through all the different ranking scores and summaries? The game just got universal praise, and rightfully so. And it should come as no surprise to find out that Animal Crossing New Horizons had one of the best Switch launches of all time. But what should be absolutely surprising is that Animal Crossing New Horizons has tons of 0 out of 10 reviews over on Metacritic. And today I want to talk about what the heck went wrong, if it's justified in any way, and the overall concept, concern, and consequence of 0 out of 10 reviews for games that are, by all accounts, pretty darn great. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Let me know in the comments down below what you would rate Animal Crossing on a scale of 1 to 10. I know these days a lot of websites like to just use a good, great, not worth it, or like buy it, rent it, stay away type system, but sometimes scores are fun, and I'd be curious to know what you guys would give AC. So let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are having fun with Animal Crossing. Well, according to Metacritic's user score, a lot of users are not having fun with Animal Crossing. The game has a 91 Metacritic from reviewers and a 57 user score, a 5.7. And that is being dragged way down into the dumps by 993 negative reviews, many of which are a straight 0 out of 10. Now, if you've been paying attention to Animal Crossing or you've played it yourself, you probably know what the cause of this is. Yes, ordinary gamers, but also the one island per game issue. We talked about it in our recent 10 most wanted updates to Animal Crossing, something they'll probably never fix, but really shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. Only one island per system, only one island per copy. It's a little anti-consumer. It's a little unfriendly to people who want to get the game and play it with their significant other, their sister, their friend. And I'm sure some of these people reviewing were genuinely surprised by the fact that AC does not have the options for multiple people to have their own islands on a system that encourages multiple profiles. We've got things like, this is so annoying, only one player has the ability to play this game because only one island. Nintendo doesn't deserve my money anymore. Beware, if you have multiple people in your house that want to play this game, they cannot each have their own island. Only one customizable island can be played per Switch. I purchased this game for my girlfriend and I, and she started playing the game first. There was no advertisement or clear indication of this, but each Switch console is limited to one island, and the first person on that island has a much better gaming experience than anyone else. As I mentioned, some of these are probably earnest, and some of the complaints are definitely valid. It would super suck to buy AC thinking it was gonna work for you and your family, or you and your girlfriend, and then it just doesn't. They're relegated to a visitor, and that's not all that great. Being a resident on someone else's island, sure, you still get to experience Animal Crossing, but you don't really get to experience Animal Crossing. But in spite of this, there are plenty of these reviews that are not genuine. There are plenty of these that are just angry, upset, wish the game had a different feature set, and are doing the practice called review bombing, where you go in on Metacritic and tons of angry, ornery fans, because they honestly might even be fans, go and try to take a game down and make a point to Nintendo, or make a point to whoever the publisher is. This could be viewed as an effective measure to try and get your voice heard and make a point to said publisher or developer. But I want to examine a bunch of scenarios in which review bombing has happened and really look at if it's worth it, if the games deserve it, and if it does anything. Because I think you all know where this is going. It doesn't do anything except cause chaos, strife, and sometimes sadness for the people responsible for the game. Now, Animal Crossing is a major franchise, and it's getting a lot of love across the internet, so I'm sure the developers over at Nintendo know that they've done a job well done. But let's take a game like Kunai, one of my favorite indie darlings on Switch in 2020, and I think it's one of the best Metroidvanias on the platform. This game is really, really good, but one person was able to review bomb this thing from an 8.1 user score down to a 1.7, and the developers were really upset. It was not a good feeling to see all of their hard work go up in flames because of angry gamers. And in the case of Kunai, there wasn't even a specific reason. The game is not misleading in any way. It's an excellent adventure. There's no game-halting bugs. there was just some upset, angry people that wanted to mess with this title. Now, if we take a look at other Nintendo Switch games like Astral Chain and Fire Emblem Three Houses, both of those were also review bombed. And the reason was because they were Switch exclusives. People were angry that Platinum did not put Astral Chain on other platforms like their previous titles, and for some reason, supposedly also angry that Fire Emblem Three Houses wasn't on other consoles, even though, of course, it wasn't. Well, Fire Emblem Three Houses saw its user score drop to 6.6 compared to a critic rating of 89. Astral Chain had a very, very good Metacritic of 87, but that game took the user score from a very awesome 9.0 down to something far lower. Now, thankfully, Metacritic is aware of this process, and in the specific examples of Astral Chain and Fire Emblem Three Houses, and even Kunai, they were able to go in and scrub all of the disingenuous scores. Now, along the way, perhaps they did wipe a genuine, really surprised, angry review, but I feel like 98% were probably people just pissed off and trying to make a point. But is that point made? Is putting a 0 out of 10 score on Animal Crossing going to get Nintendo to change course with what they've decided? Is it going to make a difference? Because at the end of the day, I think that's what people want. They want to make a difference, and that's not inherently a bad thing. Wanting to speak your mind and wanting to voice your concern, your upset, your critique of the game, I fully support that. But it has to be done in a productive way. And let me tell you, Nintendo is not going over here and having second thoughts about their game design because of a bunch of blatantly obvious review bombing reviews. They are not looking at this wall of zeros and saying, oh my goodness, we done screwed up. They are probably saying, hey, Metacritic, can you please get rid of all these disingenuous reviews because it's really messing with our user score that we know is absolutely much higher given the overall reception of our game. There's no way Nintendo thinks that the critics have it this wrong. There's no way they think critics gave it a 91 and fans gave it a 5.7. They're aware of the game that ornery, upset players are playing. It's not making a difference. There are cases of positive differences being made when companies have AMAs and people voice their concerns. When people go on Twitter and say, hey, we really want this to happen. I think that differences are made far more often in positive scenarios rather than negative. Like how recently Atlas even said, hey, if you want Persona 5 on Switch, go let the people know on Twitter. And I don't know if we'll ever get Persona 5 on Switch, I sure hope we do. But examples like that, where it's for a positive change, seem to work more often. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't voice negative concerns. There are definitely games that do deserve to have the dark side of their experience be explained and get people to know that, hey, gamers didn't appreciate or enjoy this. I'll mention Anthem, a game that really did not see a lot of love after having so much time and so much money invested into it by BioWare. And look what they're doing. They are going and making Anthem 2.0, completely overhauling the game because they know fans didn't like it. So it's okay in a constructive, respectful way to voice your concern, and I absolutely encourage everyone here to do so. If there's something you don't like or something you think that could be fixed, or you want to write your own review, or you want to comment on Steam or Metacritic or Twitter, go for it. But you gotta do it in a way that's actually gonna make a difference. Otherwise, it's just ornery yelling for ornery yelling's sake. And that gets no one anywhere except hurts people. You have the potential to really negatively impact a game. For example, if Kunai was not able to get its user score fixed on Metacritic, a game that really deserved its 8.1 user score would have looked like a 1.7. And for a lesser known title that didn't have a big budget and doesn't have a lot of marketing might, this can absolutely sink not only the game, but the developer themselves. And personally, as someone who used to try and write game reviews and occasionally submit them to websites and sparingly get them featured, I'm intrigued by this entire process. The whole cycle is fascinating to me. And personally, as a gaming fan and someone who has been inundated in this industry for decades at this point, I feel for these developers who deliver top tier, excellent experiences and then see a score snatch their joy, or in some cases directly snatch potential sales. It's just not right, and it does irk me, it does bother me. I won't mention names, but in the past year I've talked to developers that have seen problems like this on Metacritic and other places. We're talking indie devs on Switch who have seen people specifically trying to hurt their game and ruin its reputation, and it takes a toll on the developers, let me tell you. I mean, just imagine yourself, you work hard on a project, you know it's a darn good game, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, people are pissed off on Amazon reviews or Metacritic user reviews or Twitter or YouTube. Now, I also want to note that if the game actually has serious problems, take Anthem, for example, a game that was lacking in many ways and was not the experience fans expected nor wanted, then, if done in a respectful way, the negative feedback and criticisms can really let the company know, hey, even if it sold pretty well, nobody is really on board with what we did, and maybe we want to make some changes, and maybe we want to do right by the consumers, especially when critics are echoing those sentiments. But when you have titles like Animal Crossing that they know are well received, it's a 91 on Metacritic from critics. It is beloved on Twitter and YouTube and just about everywhere else. It is just this sore thumb user score that sits out as an anomaly, and Nintendo is not even glancing at that and letting that affect their future decisions. So I urge anyone that has ever considered review bombing, don't waste your time. Find a productive way to impact the game that you care a lot about, because it does show care if you take time to go on here and write a review, but let your voice mean something. Look, Animal Crossing New Horizons does not deserve a 0 out of 10, but maybe if you gave it a 6.5 or a 7 and said, hey, I'm really sad about this feature, or maybe if you tweeted Nintendo and said, hey, I wish you would have communicated the one island thing a little more clearly on the box because I didn't know. Or write your favorite YouTuber and say, hey, can you bring this issue to attention? A bunch of us are feeling upset about it. I think that is a highly productive and really positive way to go about having a chance at affecting change. There's no guarantee it'll do anything. These developers and publishers, they might not want to make changes. They might be super confident in their games and to their own success or demise. That might be the route they take. But more and more, as the internet expands and as fan feedback becomes more instantly available via Twitter, Metacritic, YouTube, companies are paying attention. I talk with publishers that really do keep their hand on the pulse of the gaming forum, Twitter, social media sphere. And they do want to know what people are thinking and what they're playing and how they're upset or how they're happy. But it's got to be done in a way that actually means something. So Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think this will get wiped soon. I think this user score is going to climb right back up to an 8-ish, 9-ish out of 10. And that doesn't discount the issue. I still think the one island problem, if you will, is a problem. And I wish it wasn't there. And I feel for anyone who bought this game expecting to be able to play multiple profiles, multiple islands. And right now there is no good workaround. They're absolutely right. Having that secondary experience as a resident on someone else's island, it's not the same. It absolutely isn't. But it's not worthy of 993 negative reviews and so many 0 out of 10s, dropping this otherwise great game to a 5.7. And on a personal note, I just want to say, especially now, more than ever before, positivity, compassion, care, and empathy are so important. We've got a lot of real bad stuff going on around us, and the gaming industry is going to be impacted severely in some cases. I made mention of this in my direct review video talking about how, hey, Nintendo may have had to shift their plans. And they made that clear by placing that warning at the top of the video saying, things are rough. We may have to adjust our dates, our plans, our release schedule. And it's going to impact smaller developers, medium-sized developers, and the biggest of developers. So be patient and have care. If your favorite game gets delayed, know that it's to protect the safety and health of those people making it. And know that they want to make the game too. That they want to release it to you as well. That they want to get it in your hands. I've never seen a developer take joy in a delay. A lot of times, guys, the delays end up hurting the developers because they have to crunch for longer and more. They're taken from their families. They're taken from sometimes their health and well-being. And right now, just can't afford to do that. So if a delay happens, let it be. And with that, my friends, we'll wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below what you would rate Animal Crossing New Horizons and what you think about this whole review bombing thing, and if you agree or disagree with my take. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being a part of the channel and supporting it. I love you guys so much. It has been a wonderful week. Stay tuned for the next Animal Crossing video. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to know when it gets uploaded first so you can grab the latest tip. Also, if you want to join our Discord server, Switch Strong, it's a safe, positive, fun place to talk Switch and find friends to play with. I encourage you to join. Link in the description below. Until next time, everybody, stay safe out there, wash your hands, stay home, and until next time, Switch Force out.